Hello everyone and welcome to the podcast for Shallows by Sony Entertainment. It's quite cool to do podcasts again. Second one this week. The one before this podcast was The Perfect Getaway. I watched this last night with Ellen and I've got some time to kill this week as I'm off. So I thought, right, it's a 97-minute movie. Let's get this done. Advertised at the start of this movie was the Ghostbusters remake with the girls. I went to see this at the Pictures with my ex Annie. Bought the steelbook, got the steelbook in my hand here. Paid full price for it when it came out, $27.99ish. Brilliant front cover, brilliant steelbook. Has a shark on the back and Steven Steele girl and her on the front. So I've seen this at the Pictures. I bought it when it came out, and it was also a fast forward review back in the day. And this film has got a little bit bad, a little bit badder, a little bit badder every time I've seen it. There was a series of kind of movies at this time, like Frozen, when they get stuck on the ski lift. The Fall, massive shout out to Scott Mann and the lads in the tournament. They did that. I mean, I love The Fall. Went to Pictures to see that was good. And also this, where someone gets stuck in a situation and it's kind of like every obstacle happens, and then there's a kind of bit of like crash course to reality of like the inevitable, like going home on a good note kind of thing. I said this in the review. It's really good until the ending, and then watching it back, okay. Obviously GoPro, showing how good GoPro is there. Obviously still showing the graphics, and then you get to see a shark here. Boom! Obviously see elements, and if you've seen the movie now, you realise that there's elements here that show the story, and then Shallows. So it's quite good in a way. Obviously, no one's really topped Jaws since Jaws was done. Deep Blue Sea had a good crack at it. There's a suspense of a shark and filming at sea. There's a lot of this, I think, does well with social media, how you use social media on the screens, digitally showing it. I think this movie's budget booms with CGI when you don't really need CGI. I'll waffle away with that in a bit. Nice opening scene. There was a lot of these kind of movies as well, because I remember going to see The Forest at this time as well, where people were just being adventurous, going out on their own. I mean, I know a lot of people do that. But this one here, showing the social media, shows you the backstory, shows the sister, shows the mum. I've not seen many films with Blake Lively in. Obviously, she is married to Ryan Reynolds. But again, there's a cross between language barrier here. Doesn't go for subtitles. Obviously set in Mexico. And obviously she's getting told off there for being on a phone all the time, which is now quite a common thing, especially in social engagement. So it tries to get that message across there a bit. Again, The Secret Beach. Again, the beach movie, when he gets kind of like, feels like they borrowed quite a lot from the beach when you think about the beach scene where he is bitten by the shark and then fights the shark and that nice water, you know, because again, a lot of people suffer with PTSD when it comes to Jaws. I think Jaws still scares people to death, like the scariness, the unknown, the water. I think that's like one of the things that is there, and this film tries to like blow it up a bit, but a lot of people have struggled to even come close to the success of Jaws. But again here, chucking in the social media, the chat between his sister, the bond, where a friend is at the hotel, and as I said, she's getting a lift off this guy who she introduces to as he drops her off. It's just like, you know, and he is a character at the end there. There's only about 5 or 6 people in this movie, all in all. Maybe it's a bit more of them. So you got the dad, her, a mum, the little boy, 2 shark attacks, drunken bum. So maybe 7 or 8 people. Again, I like how they've done that. And it goes to the whole question of how do you take a phone out of the equation. She leaves it on the beach, a social media kind of style. But she's out there, she's living life, she's vlogging it. She's doing this because she's lost her mum. She's took a year off university. She's almost past being a doctor. But I think from what I'd get so short in the story is like her mum died and she tried everything. She is like at a medical profession but doesn't see the point of continuing kind of thing, and she's trying to reconnect with her mum. This is the beach her mum went to, so there's a little bit of a backstory gone there, what drives her to be on this beach alone. She is from Texas, and you can surf in Texas. When I think of Texas, I just think of deserts and big barbecues and a tan. Beautiful location though. Stunning blue waters, crystal clear. It would be really cool if you're watching these movies back and in that shot there, that the shark was hidden there, that the shark's there. You just, like, I would love to freeze frame that and go over it and go, right, the shark is there, even if it's just a shadow in the outline, like, it's there, but you just don't know it's there. She's obviously talking about the islands. When I was starting to watch this and totally forgetting the movie as well, on about her earrings. See, it's kind of choosing which subtitles they give you as well. It's kind of like the nose, the breast. He's on about the island. Either that's a local myth or a landmark. I know people drive to get places, but then protect places. I think the beach, when I was listening to the beach, they, created a massive tourist attraction where people want to go, and I think the beach scene was altered in a few ways, but I think one of the rocks that sort of locks it in is CGI, but, people want to protect the beauty and stuff. Obviously, the last podcast I did was just gone the weekend there for Perfect Getaway, where beauty with the island and stuff like that, and the location and getting places there. So again, the guy delivers quite good. He comes back at the end. She's got a travel thing. Obviously she's not just free backpacking it because she's left most of her stuff at the hotel. And then little things like the text message that her friend's hooking up from a guy from the bar, and that's going to happen, and that's why don't wait up for us. She's off doing her own thing. Why she wouldn't worry where her friends got to, and taking a friend out the equation. Loads of little things that's done there to go, right, fuck, someone will come and find her. But again, it's a tranquil beach, and as I said, it seems to, borrow from a few films. But a lot of people everyone wants their Jaws, their blockbuster. I know Jaws doesn't need to ever get remade because it's done so well, and every time it has a 4K like Blu-ray remaster, 4K remaster, you look at that and you go, fucking hell, that's 50 years old. It's just terrifyingly good. Everyone always comments on the shark and stuff, and you went, it's more real because it's there. The scene with the boat, and obviously recently more the pictures of the deleted scene when the shark's out of water in black and white, they're haunting. And also, since we're watching this, listening to Jaws, the 4 Jaws podcasts are on the channel. And it's now been recently discovered that Pippin, the dog, does not die. It's a deleted scene left on the floor, and Pippin does appear in the background as an Easter egg. Unlike Rogue, that fucking traumatized me. Rogue is a crocodile movie, Australian based. It's quite good. It's got Sam Worthington in. It's got the chick from, let me look at that shot there, the chick from Pitch Black, maybe some other faces you might recognise, but the dog's called Kevin, and the dog's just the boat dog. It's doing nothing wrong, and then the boat dog fucks off. The guy goes to find him, and then there's a screech, that Halloween dog thing, and you think, oh, is the dog dead? And I generally thought the dog didn't die, and then I was in the editing room anyway, and I was doing something, and I just freeze framed it, and I wasn't paying too much attention. And then he's this massive crocodile with a dog's head sticking out the side. and it's just like, that's unnecessary. It's unnecessarily, and I wasn't a fan of it, and I was just like, fucking hell, that's completely thrown me off that film. So yeah, that was unnecessary murder of a dog. But again, it's kind of like, you care more about animals, I do anyway, more about animals dying than humans dying. So in here, you kind of like, don't let Steven Seagal die. But yeah, some beautiful shots, imagery, colour, underwater stuff. There's some CGI coming up though. I think it's very obvious when she hits her first wave, that's not her face. But when I was watching this last night, I think Blake Lively must have some experience of a surfer to be cast in the role. I think if you were a director, a producer, you just generally wouldn't cast somebody who doesn't even have water experience in any form. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it. But looking back at Point Break and seeing some of the shots they got, even Blue Juice, and you look back at them movies in the 90s and you think of the cameras and the talent that would have got them shots. Not like now, it's just get that shot in CGI. Two of the nameless lads in the shirt over, he's got the GoPro on. Obviously, there's a chances are there's quite a few GoPro shots of people's dramatic, haunting last ends that maybe will never see the light of day, because they fucking have been eaten by a shark and the GoPro's on the bottom of the fucking ocean floor. But it could definitely happen. Yeah, again, the bobbing, the underwater shots out in the water. Again, isolated cove as well, so you look at that and then you look at maybe it's green screen and maybe it's a set, but it's a lot of time on the water. I mean, that water just looks blue, and Waterworld blue to me. I think 95-ish, the 90s, and like the experience of America I had at a young age, and then, like blue water. Because over here in the UK, the local water you walk past down the river, brown. Yeah. It's not like the birth of Mochuega, and you walk up and it's crystal clear blue. But yeah, it's pretty loud master on the audio, because this is like on 0, 1 or 2, but and the telly's on the other side of the room. But yeah, just so you know as well, this podcast, the dogs are asleep somewhere. And you hear some fighting and running around. They haven't had the mad half hour yet. So the GoPro goes on. Again, the footage looks great. Because a lot of the time, I kind of feel like, look at that wave coming towards you. I kind of feel like sometimes they make footage look worse against film. Tit shot for the boys, I guess. But here, totally CGI face, mainly because of the crooked smile. But yeah, music kicks in, a bit of slow motion. She's ripping it up. She can surf. Some great overshots. I've never, as I said, like Matty and Andrew and Owen and all that, sometimes get up and go all the way over to North Shields. It's about an hour's drive just to go surfing in the morning. Fucking hell, no. Sorry, but no. Another shot where they're just even in the background, like a shadow. That's kind of shit I would do. Just to do it, because like one of the scenes coming up I think is terrifying, and I think that would have sold the movie on any kind of like pre-visual and like art, and going, right, these are the shots we're going to look for. He's like, sell this, he's a wave, he's a surfer, he's a shark on the wave. Only stuff that you could do with CGI. You're not going to get that done in Jaws. But again, talking about Jaws, and like one of the scenes that haunts me is the guy who gets dragged underneath the boat, and you kind of just see the shark's mouth, it turned, and knowing that that's really there the coldness of the water and all that's just fucking terrifying. But yeah, some great shots, which again, you spend the time, you get the shots in, you let nature showcase itself. I think there's a lot of colour correction done, mainly for the palette changes quite a lot, which again I think can be done so easy now, on a professional level in a big studio, that old school ways you would hunt for the golden hour, you would wait for the perfect moment, but like talking back about Perfect Getaway, when all of a sudden 10 minutes of the movie, because it's a flashback, all happens in a very light blue but were very dark, as I said in the podcast, that it almost feels like it was shot in night vision, because of everyone's eyes are just black, and for some reason director's choice that it does that. I think this film could have done with more of the bleak ending, but again, this is kind of like a find yourself movie. He comes into interaction with a sister. I think when you see the interaction with her sister and story there, I think you know that she's going to be safe. But it also shows you that she's got something to live for and fights for. She wants to be the big sister. She obviously has a fallen relationship with her dad, but her dad's interests are best for her. But even then, when she's walking and it splits off, it's quite it's done really well. There's a film called Ingrid Goes West as well, which is a really, really good movie, and that kind of like gets it across. I love the lag though. I love the content there and how it's edited in, and she obviously would have been filming on her phone in real time, but yeah, as I said, it's ambitious. It's nice, in and out of focus kind of stuff, walking on the beach. But yeah, she shows the fall of it. There's some beautiful places like that in New Zealand though. I remember, I think it was fucking weird. I think it was the second day I was back in New Zealand, and my dad was like, "We're going to a barbecue. Your cousin Craig and all that's there." And I went, "Right, okay." Went across, and it was down past Motueka and like the Abel Tasman area, and then we had a guy there, and he was just like, "Yeah, I've got a boat," and the guy put a boat in. He was going to do 2 boat trips up, and it's on the YouTube channel. If you watch, like, I think episode 2 or 3 of Aotearoa, it's there. But yeah, we got a boat and went out to this beach. There was no one else there, just a beach in the middle of fucking nowhere. And then he was whiffing on about the tide and not getting back in and started panicking, and I don't know what the fuck his problem was. He was a nice enough guy, but we always got there and set up, and then he had I think he had a mini meltdown, but ended up on this beach, and I was like, had a Jaws towel, which didn't go down well at all. I went, "It's me towel." It's there, I've still got it. It's like the front cover of Jaws. And would you go out there? But if you check it out, it's on there. But there you go, she's ran off there. But leaving the phone out on shore there, a lot of people bury the phones and stuff like that. But that's kind of like, the surface code, I guess. Like, if someone's on the beach, everyone looks out for their own stuff. But then you've got like people who blatantly would go along and make a field day with that robbing. Which is crazy, but leave it out there and be so naive. She does kind of like, obviously this is the second day, isn't it? So, she's gone back out for once more, yeah. Because she's been out there. She goes out for one more. But again, I don't think there's nothing wrong with foreshadowing the shark prior to this, because you know what the film is. It's called The Shallows. Oh, they're still there, actually. Because they go back in, and then she goes, "Fuck me, bar guy." What do you think? There, again, hands down, even a shadow in the background. Because it's not long. Waiting for a wave. That would freak me out. Some people find massive peace. Obviously, shark movies at this time as well. This was like one put out of the pictures. Like there, oh yeah, it's her back. Yeah, leave it. Like that's the kind of culture and the kind of people you want to be around. You know what I mean? But you can't exactly have a like, doubt in there. But again, there you're looking. Is there a shadow? There's a film called Shark Attack 3, which has one of the worst. It's a funny story actually. So the Shark Attack 1, 2, and 3, and Shark Attack 3, is basically like so bad it's a megagon. And the CGI is basically just like a massive shark and they shrink the people. And me and Jack used to religiously watch it, pie-eyed, laughing the fuck out of it. I think the dolphins is a really cheap jump scare here. But anyway, we used to watch it and it was really bad. And there's one bit where there's a massive incoming shadow and it's so badly done. I actually got to work with two of the actors in the tournament. There's two of the actors in the tournament. And I started talking about Shark Attack 3 and they were like, how do you even know about that film? Like, really, like, seriously? Shark Attack 3? And I'm like, yeah. That was really funny. So, yeah. As we watch this movie. Just got to point out as well, I'm keeping cautious of my camera because the battery light on, but it's plugged in. I electrocuted myself just before this started by the plug. I want to test the plug. I've got a suspicion that the camera cable, I just don't understand where the battery life's gone down. But we'll see in a minute, I guess. I'll be right back if not. But yeah, I've got no fingernail again. My fingernail really struggles to grow back. It's weird. I got jammed in a car door when I was a kid. It's been fine for years. Then I jammed it again, and since then it's just been a nightmare. The nail will grow, and then it'll just pop off. It's horrible. But yeah, I'll let me keep myself on there. So obviously, a big killer whale, big prosthetic prop. It's really there. She's going to get on it. Do you need that there? We've got dolphins, whales, and sharks in this cove. And there we go. First sign of a shark. Obviously pointing out the water as well is very discoloured. Obviously comes in with a fact later on with a flare gun. Obviously making the surfboard very distinct as well. That, you know, almost the Blink 187 logo. Obviously broken on the beach at the start. And here we go. The shot of the movie. Again, CGI face there. Tidal wave, and here comes the shark and the shadow. Fantastic. The shot of the movie. Obviously dismounts are there. Takes a hard tumble. Obviously drag upside again. Totally CGI. Kind of feels like a couple of beats too much. Maybe it's a sharp impact, sharp edit. Personally, just feels like you're waiting for it to hit and then she hits. But obviously it's water effects. Back on the board. She's not a bit yet, and she's about to be. Yeah, I'm just a bit cautious of the camera now. And yeah, she's got there. And then the redness, the blood. Haunting shot. Brilliantly done. But at this time, there's a lot of shark movies. We've got the Sharknado movies. We've got Empire of Sharks. We've got Ice Sharks, which is fucking brilliantly funny because it's so bad. We've got the utter gem of Ghost Shark. If you've never heard of Ghost Shark, you're not safe in any form of water, a bucket, a bath. The shark's out to get you. And the shark is actually a digital scan of Bruce the Shark from Jaws, which can't express you enough to track down. Its sequel, Urban Shark, was never released over here in the UK. But yeah, there's a lot of shark movies out there that, you know, want to be a Jaws. but there's not very, very good ones out there. I think Shark Attack, the original one, I think Casper Van Dien's in it. Not long after Starship Troopers, mine, and Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters. I think that movie was more of, you know, quite a good story, but it's the execution. No one wants to film on the water for all the hazards and costs it does. In Deep Blue Sea, Deep Blue Sea's animatronic sharks are unbelievable because they are robotic, they move, they're done to look like a real shark. Sometimes, you know, like again with that movie, the sharks look great, but then the CGI shark, Samuel L. Jackson's death, has not aged well. But then the shark coming up the cylinder when the water starts coming up does not look good in CGI. It's a mix, you know what I mean? So she's on there. They think that she's heard her. Oh yeah. And obviously they come back the next day and meet their demise. But it kind of needs that night for the isolation. Open Water as well was a popular one back in the day. Obviously filmed in the real ocean with real sharks and people like freaking out and a very morbid ending, you know. What was the one called? Shark Night. That was the name of a movie. Obviously the era of 3D came along. Deep Blue Sea had 2 sequels that'll be the Universal property. Sony at this time as well, obviously a Ghostbusters remake. There must be a change in management within a couple of years after this, because like, you know, Ghostbusters, I think the sequel, you know, the remake with the women, it looks absolutely stunning on 4K. It's funny where it needs to be. It looks like the original cast come back for the right time. But Afterlife was the movie we longed for, because Afterlife is a fucking amazing movie. And for Sony to turn that around so quickly after decades of between the Ghostbusters 2 and the remake, it seems to be like at this time they're like, right, we want a shark movie. And obviously Columbia Pictures, obviously Bad Boys. We've had Bad Boys 3 and 4 back to back, pending the lockdown. But yeah, as I said, I went to see this at Pictures. Can't remember many people being there. It was the same about the time when I went to see The Witch. When everyone started walking out of The Witch, and The Witch has become a cult classic. I've never really watched it. I thought, fucking hell, this was. But again, it's the kind of movies we were going for when this would be a movie. There's Steven Seagal there. He's been hurt. I didn't realise he got hurt off the thing, but there we go. He's making a run for his life as well. So yeah, they were like hitting them out, and they were getting quite dark and twisted, and yeah. At the time as well, Meg was coming out, and there's Jason Statham headlining a shark movie. But again, with Meg, it comes from the fact that obviously a lot of the money comes from China. And yeah, the camera has now got the red battery on. Well, this is interesting. This is very interesting because the camera is plugged in. It's a good job I've got 2 leads. Has there been a chew on my wire? Right, 2 seconds, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So it turns out the wire is not working. I need to work out if it was the wire or the plug. Obviously I've got twin cameras. So it's weird because it was fine, but and I've looked. There seems to be no little teeth marks, but you never know. Puppy's like a bloody pooch, but yeah. So yeah, we're back on there. So she's been bit. She's now on the rock with Steven Seagal. Showing the isolation of her being there. Obviously probably a man-made little hill there, but yeah. But obviously medical profession She's got the weird earring, she's got the necklace, she's kind of put her foot together. But yeah. But then there's a part of you think, well, at what point does this turn into a nice water tank, blue screen? Obviously, I'm guessing the seagull, just a hint, that is all CGI. Unless you've got like a seagull wrangler. But scenes like that there, you know, would you? But again, you're on a little coast. You take over that coast, and that's how you make it work. So she's about to do the gruesomeness. I'm going to have a look on IMDb. Let's have a look. See, work out why my wire's not working. It's advertised on IMDb everywhere is F1 with Brad Pitt. Shallows. So 2016. It's a 6.3 on IMDb. Steven Seagal's real name in real life is Sully. So he's obviously a trained fucking seagull, which I do expect that a lot of it was filmed there. This seagull gets its own name apparently. Stunt double was Isabella Nicholas, who did the surfing stuff. Inspired to work on it. So Blake Lively was inspired for Ryan Reynolds' movie Buried Alive. Blake Lively was pregnant while filming this. Obviously the crapshoot CGI. The movie was originally going to be filmed at the Gulf Coast of Texas near Galveston, but filmmakers declined a film permit for safety reasons. Blake Lively had never seen Jaws. Dying Whale was a mix of CGI and styrofoam prop. Film crew had to ride sets every morning to get the sets. They weren't allowed too many vehicles, which obviously makes sense. The screenplay for the film was finished in 2014. A blacklist, a list of most liked unmade scripts of the year. The movie was originally entitled In the Deep. There's quite a lot of films in the deep, isn't there? There's a lot of stuff on IMDb, really. I can't be asked to read out. The name of the beach is never revealed. It may have been the island of Tibor, Shark's Island. Okay. The shark makes its doom after impaled on a rebar at the bottom of the seafloor live action tank. That was blatantly combined with CGI shark and seafloor crashing effects. Body count 3. Nancy uses waffles on a bit. So yeah, box office budget 17 million. It's made over 120 million worldwide. What the fuck that was? Aha. That noise was my backpack, which honestly I travel with, filming, falling off the kitchen bench. Okay, so what's going to happen next? Obviously, here we go about the colour I was on about. Obviously, hitting the blue for coolness on the night time. Unlike Perfect Getaway, there's no darkness in their eyes and stuff like that. Kettle's popping now, fucking hell. But so you can see the darkness effect there because how cosmic Bra stands out there. To me, that's kind of like you're playing with too many different colour tones. So it's not as it was proper popping a colour. Obviously just filters and stuff like that. Ripping up the suit. Steven Seagal there. Well, it's a nice survival story. I just think it just drops its absolute bollocks at the end of the movie. The overkill of the shark. She should just get away from the shark. I don't think the shark needs to die. I really don't. It's like, you know, something happens, she gets away, or she fucking makes a break for it. And, you know, it's like, fucking hell, is it going to get her? Is it not going to get her? She survives, you know what I mean? Like, that is enough. Not for being impaled. I'm just checking her foot there, getting the feeling back. And then just the whole 1 year later, I mean, obviously if you look at the beach and when the guy is bitten in the beach and half his leg's missing at that point, and obviously they just throw him in the tent. You know, that looks quite a severe thing. The cut, I mean, just sealed it together with a couple of like earrings, and would that leg get amputated? Maybe it's not. Again, the time ticking, the digital stuff. She's getting herself ready. That floating boy looks farther away than the beach. Obviously using that for the circulation for. Ooh. See, Stagman shot and then sudden change. You know, it's like, oh, time's passed and it's just such a different colour. Makes you feel like that was filmed on a set. There, that is totally green screen, you can tell. Not the poor fucking crab that's just been smacked. Steven Seagal there. She hasn't fixed his wing yet. It's just coming to half time. Definitely need to look into why my camera's not there. But the camera we're recording on today is Sony, so it's probably just the wire. Twisted, bent, caught in a drawer. There we go. Surfboards floating in. Wondering if the shark's still there. See, like going for the board to the river. And there, it should be just like a fin in the background where the audience knows, but she doesn't know. Obviously, she's on the rock. That's right, Seagull. You stay there. So yeah, this will probably go back on the shelf, and as a steelbook, I really like the artwork. As I said, I wouldn't part with it. I don't see any point of upgrading. I think this looks nice enough on the telly. Shallows actually is on Netflix as well, so Paris Underwater, that was quite a big movie last year. I've never seen that yet, but obviously it was it's French. Trying to think of other, like one of the scariest shark pops is Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. The tank, the Umlian's dark water, the tank, and then that shark that pops up. See, at this point, she's at the board. And again, the blue and the red, see. Again, you're not getting away. Again, tremors. This obviously happens in Tremors when they get stuck around the boulders. They're trapped and then taken out the, obviously it's a secluded beach. A phone's on the beach. Everyone else is fucked off. She's on her own. Her mate's hooked up. And then, this is the bit I hate. Now there's a random drunk guy on the beach, face down, with a bottle of tequila. And it's like, right, okay, you've seen they all have to drive in. Where's this random guy came from? And he just happens to be a fucking arsehole. You know, obviously robs her. And then fucking... But where's he come from? You know what I mean? I know there must be civilization somewhere close because the kids walk on the beach and goes and gets the dad. And the dad says he lives around there. But again, the coldness of the blue, he wakes up. And yeah, I just don't think we need this scene at all. I think it's... It's just like, it feels like a filler. Like, drunk guy on the beach randomly appears. Okay, glitch in the Matrix. Obviously, he's meant to look Mexican. He's about to rob them. I mean, it'd be funny if it was Cheech Martin. He goes along, gets his stuff, and then he's, again, greedy enough to go for the surfboard. So in reality, he wouldn't bother the surfboard. He would just go, got your money, got that, I'm off. But there you go, stuff on the beach. Inside a Telefono. Where was it filmed? So we missed that bit off. So, country of origins, United States, known as. So, film locations. It was all filmed in Australia, in Queenstown, Queensland. So obviously it's meant to be set in Mexico, isn't it? But yeah, it's all filmed in Australia. 1 hour 26 minutes. So Blake Lively's obviously been in things. Obviously a lot of the IMDb has no pictures. Steven Seagal even has an IMDb page with 3 credits. He's in The Lighthouse and Barb and Star. Fucking hell. So yeah, 47 meters down. They were proper time Frozen. More like this, Crawl. There's a film in China called The Shallows. The Reef, Open Water, Deep Blue Sea, Meg, The Fall was there. Nowhere. I've just recently seen that advertised on Netflix. House of Wax. Okay. Don't know why I would like House of Wax up on there, but okay. Just looking at some images. Some nice stills from the movie. But yeah, as I said, it's... Yeah, he goes down and he gets eaten. There's just no need for it. But again, got it made. An idea about a shark. Isolated incident. Again, everything's been done to death when it comes to sharks, and the choice of not showing him, and obviously shows on the beach he's been eaten in half. And it just slightly shows you that he's been bitten in half. But again, did you have to CGI? Because you just bury him in the sand, can't you? 6 hours to tide. So the boys are back. I'm gonna hit there. So yeah, I mean, with me, at the end, you know, it's kind of like, would you outswim a shark? Obviously not. Not with your leg and stuff like that, but it was kind of like how you would get out of it. Like, flying to the bottom and impaling it in the face. It was like, really? I see these get wiped out by the shark firing up. Which has been seen, especially like with people with phones and that now, and you're seeing sharks, you know, like attacks and stuff actually happen in real life, and you've seen the shark come up and actually eat whales or whatever they eat. Slow motion way down along. They haven't spotted it yet. Boom. Spotted her. Boom. Pretty well done. To try that. See, it seems to get like the depth of perception, like the distance doesn't look that far, then it is that far, and just seeing that shot there, how far he is away and stuff like that. I mean, that is quite haunting, the fact that he just disappears. But if she was that far away, the guy wouldn't have fucking heard. And then flying up board. Dude. Obviously, as well, like composers, like, do I do a film about a shark in the water? And be like, yeah. It's the absence of the music. They just don't do it. It's not their move. And then here is a really good shot coming up, which is used about 4 times in the movie. Or it's not used there. It's not used there, but it's obviously you see it a few times through the GoPro. But that would be the time to go. The shark's just killed 2 people. Fucking go for it. I don't think a shark does what a crocodile does and fucking hide its fucking stash. Like, that would be the worst bit, like the sun coming down on you like that. 127 hours. There's a 1. Got stuck in a situation and you're looking for every scenario to get out of it. Obviously counting down the high time. Here comes back the GoPro. Steven Seagal is still there. Obviously she's got all them bracelets on her arm and she had a hook. Maybe she could have sewn her leg up with them bracelets. Silence. You can hear me clock in the kitchen going. She decides to fix Steven Seagal here. Oh, she's already fixed him. No, she hasn't fixed him yet. Feels like the wrong crunch. Poor Seagull. At least it doesn't die. Well, get a bit. There you go, GoPro floating in the water. And there you go. Shark mode. So now she's timing it. That's a really good, like there that you can see the shark in that shot there, that like maybe you could have picked that up earlier on and just hidden it there, just so like, yeah, the shark's there. You could probably really do a weird one where you were not spelunking, but like imagine one like this where you were there with like, you know, a cave or something and a fucking massive octopus came in. You know what I mean? You'd be like, well, what the fuck do you do? Like a really big one. The coil, oof. I mean, she gets a battering, like, doesn't she? She breaks her fingers. She's fucking got a big gouge. She better get attacked by jellyfish in a bit. There you go. And there she goes, and she's off. Is this just to get the camera? She hasn't sent her messages out there the world. But again, this is what I was on about earlier on with the colour. Where now it's got that very turquoise mixtures of blues and that's a great shot. Nice jump bit. So hungry motherfucker. Just got the helmet now. Definitely a man-made structure. How snug it looks for us sitting in there. Again, here we go back with the footage from the start of the movie. Obviously sped up. Cut to the death, and then obviously we see the shot now of the shark coming in, which she clicks and zooms in on. Boom. There you go. That's what's gonna get you. I mean, I don't know why. Oh yeah, someone got you. So obviously, it's pissed off. It's obviously that's kind of saying like, it's kind of looking and going. Is it making it look at the boy? But it's kind of making it look like, right, it's pissed at humans because someone's trying to get it. It's trying to go, yeah, the shark wouldn't actually do it, but it's pissed off. It's kind of like, it just feels like the filmmakers are going, right, the reason the shark's doing this is because someone's trying to fucking fish hook it, you know, and it's pissed off. A little bit of coil stuck there. Comes in handy for later on. But again, swimming, like, I would say it would make more sense swimming to the shore again than to the floating boy. Because, like, yeah, the distance a little bit more, but especially in that shot, seeing how far that boy is now floating away in the background, there's no fucking way she's making it to that over the beach. Now, if she swims towards the beach, it's going to get shallower, hence the name The Shallows. In, like, it's going to get pretty shallow pretty quickly, where the shark's not going to be able to get it because of the coral reef. So, again, the perception, I think it changes, because boys can't move, and that rock's not floating. Fair enough, the whale floating there is floating, so yeah, that floats around, that's fine. But the boy's not moving, she's not moving, and the beach isn't moving. So why is the distance keeps changing? And I tell you what, again though, there's the GoPro. They've put in digital effects. I mean, the shot looks great. It's showing you what ratio it is. The guy has still got 2 bars of battery life. Bearing in mind, how fucking long has it been floating in there? It is on 3 hours and 25 minutes of footage filmed. Digital glitches. But digital glitches still happening now. I mean, every time I film something on these cameras, the first 3 frames, give or take, 5 seconds, it's where you always wait to film, then you speak. But yeah, it's always the first couple of files do have digital corruption of errors, you know. But I just don't understand why they always downgrade or degrade cameras, because cameras have been pretty distant for a couple of years now, especially going against film. I mean, film's always going to be film. You know, it's especially when you look at really old movies and you see how well the preservation's been of the footage and it physically exists. A lot of stuff now shot digital can go poof gone. But every time, like, you know, a camera's used on film, it's always shows you the date and time stamp, which is the first thing you always find when you pick up a new camera, take off the displays, because it was taped back in the day. That shit is burning onto the tape. That is recording onto the tape. You can't just digitally take that off later on. It's clear and obvious she's talking to the GoPro. So why show the font? This annoys me sometimes. I never realised until we're filming a tournament how fucking loud big cameras are though with film. So loud to push all that film through. Digital now, you don't even realise someone's filming. Yeah, very up close shot. Don't need this. Get rid of it. Off. I remember filming the music video. Oh my god, what's it called? Obsessive Compulsive. How can you forget the name of one of your own music videos? In memory of, there we go. And we obviously used the GoPro on that, and I remember it being this pond at the bottom of the waterfall, thinking of the shots, and went, fuck, what if it goes down the stream, it's in the river, we're never going to get it back? It's like, fucking hell. So Steven Seagal's out on his little surfboard, pending due. We're coming to the last bit of the movie here because it's her time. She's at fight or flight here because one, she's going to start either having no energy left because she's eaten. Again, she seems to have stopped the bleeding. You just think he's going to get it. He's floating there. But he's away. She's like, can't look. See, that boy seems to got a lot more closer. I can hear the girls working upstairs now, so. There's the shark there. Pretty big, I'm guessing it's a great white. Some random bits float. Oh, right, the jellyfish are now here. So he's a bit where the movie starts to go to Hollywood. Obviously, flashback to show the story. Obviously, the shark is avoiding the jellyfish. All of a sudden, there's jellyfish there. I'm not saying jellyfish aren't there. But it's when they go underneath and it all illuminates and colourful and it just... Yeah, here we go. She gets really badly stung. But yeah, the sea, man, like the vastness of sea, the deepness of sea, the myths, the rumours, like, you know, the sea covers most of the world. You know what I mean? And we can't swim or breathe underwater, really. There's so many aliens in there. I mean, look at jellyfish, look at all the fish, the octopuses. They just can't be fucking, you know, real. There you go, stung right over her arm. And illumination. You think, where the fuck's she gone? Now, don't get me wrong. I have been in the jellyfish kingdom in Hong Kong, right? And jellyfish are absolutely stunning. But again, illuminated with lights and all that. Yes, they do glow and stuff like that, but that is just eye candy. So there she goes. She's looking at the boys. She's working out the plan there. And ahead she sees the bottom of it. Back to the coolness of the sea. It's not a fucking illumined disco. Again, she's just looked at it. It's close. She gets at the top. It's... And the shark, it just feels like the perception of distance is all over there. And then, yeah, she's got there, and shark comes in. You think, fuck. Falls right on the shark, give it a stab. Shark probably didn't know you were there until he did that. Now at this point, it's a very messy shot, that one. You know, the shark, off goes the ladder. Obviously the shark, she's in there, it's metal, but she's still dripping blood, I guess. But she's in there, she's in a cage. Like, that's been there for years. Now, if they were to do one today, put a Boyd out there, they would cut every corner. They would cut every corner, and they wouldn't be built as good. And I'm talking about the fact that there's a flare gun still there. They wouldn't bother putting a flare gun there, would they? Fuck. But again, and he comes looking at the storm ahead, and then just sees the boat. But the boat's about to go behind there. Again, this is why I think obviously a lot of this was shot on green screen. There's a boat, and that boat there is, I think, me personally, an homage to the Goonies. The fucking boat sails off in the background. Of course, she can't get the hatch open. She's about to use the coil though, don't worry. She's got a backup plan. Of course, the boat's not going to return. Oh, and she's in. Flare gun, but then, of course, she drops all the bullets. And the fact that the flare gun isn't preloaded. Right, really? And we get the whole, whoa. And of course the first one in, out of the 4, dud. So yeah, come back. And then, it's suddenly, someone, I think, almost must have turned around and says, right, take 5 minutes out. And a good edit is about to come up where all of a sudden the music hits. There. She's already swinging in, she's swinging back out. It's almost like, boom. There's no pissing around now, hurry up, get this fucking film done. Because we're going to be home free in about 10 minutes of this podcast of me waffling away. And her, there you go, boom, flare goes up and down. And then you're suspensely waiting. But going back to Q as well before, though, like with shark movies, obviously one of the greatest things about Jaws is the music by John Williams, the Dirt. Everyone knows it. It's pop culture reference to everything. Everyone knows Dirt. And it's like the unknown. When you're scoring a movie like there, the music hits in there, it's like adrenaline, but then it stops. Like adrenaline bursts. If the shark doesn't really have a theme, it's just there. And again, given the shark attitude because someone's skewed its mouth or it's been hurt. But again, it's just swimming and eating. It's doing exactly what it does. It's swimming around. It's got to swim. It can't stop. I don't think sharks sleep. It swims. There's a food source. It still smells the blood. So yeah, it wouldn't go anywhere. And now we go back to the start. And it's a nice little title sequence at the start, this, where you see it and the shallows, and then the film restarts itself. Now she's even more further out. So you can't really see, she's not moving. Obviously that GoPro battery life is still on 2 bars. It's doing well. He's quickly read the message. And the fact is, she gets herself out of it though. He runs off. The dad comes she has this massive fight or flight moment here where she takes on the shark. And then she essentially drowns coming back to shore. You know what I mean? She just survives it. And there's that shark again. And boom! Nice in the cut there. I mean, the kids took the helmet. Now she's pissed. Is it right in the mush? Nice shot though. I mean, that is generally like terrifying, and someone right swinging on there, waving out of control. Then obviously she hits the oil from the whale itself. Again, full on Hollywood. A lot of people, oh, fuck you, F-bomb in the movie. There you go. Shark on fire. Jumping shark on fire. Hollywood. Well, that's not going to stop the shark. I'm right, just going to piss it off. It's fucking on. Everything is dinner at this point. But these are very, very good CGI of the shark. I just think the thing what's letting us down here is the colour grading. It's the blacks are black and this is the colour. Oof, that is like, must have been a general accident kept in. Butting your teeth off the fucking thing with a knacked. She's now in a fucking very quirky situation. It's like this scene from Transformers, the cartoon. Is it the cartoon animated thing? Is it Cup that gets stuck? No, the Cup's in the movie. It reminds me of. Obviously almost an homage to Jaws there from cover, like sharks coming up at you. This motherfucking thing is eaten through steel. Like there's no tomorrow. There you go, kick it in the face. Now, we know she's intelligent because she's a doctor. And there you go. She comes up with this idea. Another great shot. She knows the chain's on the go. On cue, here comes Gizmo down the stairs. Oh. And then shark's got itself hooked up. It's got itself hooked up. She's now having to get herself tangled up. Obviously, we're thinking what's going to happen. We don't expect what's going to happen. But obviously, she's sacrificing the leg a bit. Out comes the blood. So the shark is being held up. And boom! Everything comes off together. She goes down like a ton of bricks because of the seal. The shark just misses her. And as they go down to the ground, shark's going to come down. After all the years of no evolution, it's not strong enough to stop. She just misses everything, and the shark doesn't. You were not expecting that death of the shark, and to be honest with you, I don't think the shark should die in the movie. I think she should get away a little bit different. And now we get fucking loads of weird CGI into the dust, fade to black. You know, it's weird. It's again, the shark always meets its demise. I think this shark, she should have just got away. And yeah, one guy's on the beach. He's dead, mangled, and then she's, you know, she's there. Runs back and forth. Underlay, sends her off. He comes in for the save. Very good makeup on her. She looks like she's been to hell and back. Like, we look at the sting of the jellyfish and all. And she actually breathes on her own. He doesn't have to give her CPR or anything like that. Which is the first thing you would probably do. You know, he doesn't check a pulse or anything. He's just like, hello. And then we fade to a year later. Oh no, she has the surfboards there, which Steven Seagal was on there. Steven Seagal, he's fine. And then she hallucinates seeing her mum, to kind of say that someone had been watching over her. She's come to this beach because of her mum, and she's, you know, she's been to hell and back. You know, she survived. She's not going to quit. So there's a lot of stuff there. Does she adopt Steven Seagal? I would. He looks like he's a mate for life. You know, good job. Good luck getting back through customs. Why have you got a sequel, were you? Steven Seagal. But again, very drained colour. Respect for the ocean, maybes. And again, she starts seeing her mum. Which again, could this not have been a scene, her floating in the water, coming in, you know, like her hallucinating, and then boom, snap back reality, he drags her out the water, that kind of thing. Black. Not faded black, black. 1 year later. And now to wrap it up, 1 year later, she's now a doctor, comes across there, she's fixed stuff with her family. She's got a big scar on her leg. Better go on the sea with a sister. You know, showing that she's got no fear. She's still going to embrace it. Probably, it's like, would you ever go back in the water again after that? I would think not. I mean, again, of the day, it's like, that shit's not going to happen again. You never know. You know what I mean? It's, you think that she's not going to go in. Sister appears, and her dad's there. As I said, like, there we go. And they run out, and I think Sia starts playing over the top. Yeah. I Don't Want to Die and all that kind of stuff. And then we get loads of really nice, there you go, cosmic colours, ocean waves. So yeah, would I have survived that? There's a part of me that's still going on, but it would be kind of a thing that, you know, like, it's that unknown. You would just have to swim it for your life. I think that's what it needs at the end. I don't think the shark should die. I think you should swim for yourself. Why is it fucking colourful rainbows and stuff? How many Steven Seagals out of 5? This film gets worse every time I watch it, so I'm going to give it 2 out of 5. It was good to see the pictures. It's what you go in there and see. Obviously, there's a lot of things. I know Ellen was like, fucking hell, man, why a year later? Why this? Should you be amputated? Should you just be teaching back in the water? What's it trying to send back the message at the end? Really cool end bit with the shallows there, but it almost looks like a fucking Star Trek fucking ending or something like that. And now black. So anyway, thank you very much for listening to this. The dad. Not very much cast as himself, Sully Steven Seagal. Excellent. Thanks for watching, listening. Goodbye for now.